Hey y'all, so this is my response video to the relationship violence video that we watched. So, this is not my first rodeo. I've seen this video many times. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. It's actually one of my go-tos when people are asking me about relationship violence and sort of what advice I have about it and my knowledge about the subject, and they're just sort of looking for a way to put all of that into context. So I love it. I think it's wonderful. It was really hard for me this time for some reason to watch it and sit down and make a response to it, because even though I really do love it and I've seen it many times, it was super triggering for me this time. Maybe just like where I'm at, I'm not really sure, but it brought back a lot of the things that I've experienced in my past abusive relationships. So I don't know how much I have to say other than it was really hard for me to watch. But one thing that I really want to talk about is how the perpetrator in the video, the blonde woman, used her past pain and like possible abuse to sort of like gaslight the main character, and really like use that as a tactic of manipulation. In my relationship, my last relationship before my current relationship was pretty heavily psychologically and emotionally abusive, and my ex had borderline personality disorder and really liked to use that as a tool for like silencing me and belittling all of like my mental illness struggles and sort of everything I was going through, and would really like use the symptoms of his illness as an excuse to treat me like shit. And I saw that mirrored here, and I think that's really important to acknowledge. I think that a lot of the time, especially in the work that we do, like, we're very compassionate people. We want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I would like to say generally as human beings, we really empathize with people who have gone through painful experiences. And so I think the gut reaction when someone starts talking about like, well, I'm doing this to you because I've been cheated on before, is to be like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, you've been hurt. This is a natural reaction to like something really terrible happening to you. But that is a really common tactic that abusers use in order to make their victim, or like, you know, the person that they're abusing, to make it seem innocuous or to make it seem justified. And those are reasons that, you know, they can use for themselves to justify their own actions. Like, I'm not a bad person, like, I've been hurt and this is just a result of me being hurt. I think it's really important to acknowledge the fact that like people can use past experiences and also like mental health in order to create like abusive situations. I think that, you know, you walk a fine line, because right now we're just sort of on the ground of really getting like mental health stuffs, to get awareness for mental health issues. So it's really dangerous to say that like, you know, people with mental illnesses can, you know, be abusive and they use their past experiences to create abuse, and that's a very dangerous like territory to enter. And also I think that it's important to validate survivors who are like, my abuser was, you know, they were struggling with things, and then to also acknowledge that like, it doesn't matter like what kind of shit you've got going on. Like, if you hurt somebody else, if you abuse somebody else, like, you can't use that as an excuse and like not seek any kind of like not apologize for it. Not that like the survivor has to forgive you, but I don't know if that makes any sense. Just because like, if I if I, as someone with bipolar disorder, have a really dramatic emotional swing, like this has definitely happened before, and I react in a way that is like, you know, probably way out of proportion for the situation. You know, if somebody like steps on my toe, I end up like screaming at them and cussing them out because, you know, my emotions are completely out of control sometimes. Like, sometimes they're honestly like things happen and you have a gut reaction, and that's not an I always like to say it's not an excuse, it's a reason. So the reason I freaked out was because I was having an emotional upswing or an emotional downswing, but that's not an excuse for my behavior, and I still have to like apologize or admit, at least at the very least, like admit like, wow, I really fucked up here. So yeah, I think that was the thing that really caught my attention this time, is just the way that people can use past trauma and past experiences to continue the cycle of abuse. You know, it's really, we see that the vast majority of perpetrators have had abuse in their past. And that, you know, generates the cycle of abuse. So yeah, sorry that was kind of a rant, but I think it's an important aspect of the video that needs to be acknowledged. Yeah, so thank you to everybody else for sharing. Bye.